Yo, 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 what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you today, all right? So, in this video, we're going to talk about adding contracts to our trades. Adding contracts to our trades. Should I add to my position? Right? If I'm down in my position, let's say I'm down 30%, should I add to my position? Should I get out of my position? If the stock is going up, should I add to my position? All right. That's what we're going to talk about today. Nothing that I say in this video is financial advice. This is no claim that you're going to go make $80,000 tomorrow. If you want financial advice, be sure to go talk to a licensed financial advisor. So, that being said, adding to your contracts. Now, this could get very, very, very intricate, but y'all know I got you, and I am here to make this very simple so that anybody can understand this stuff. So, you might have heard the term dollar cost averaging. In the finance community, what do they say? When you want to buy shares of a stock, just buy it every week, no matter what the price is, and you're going to dollar cost average. What does dollar cost average mean? It means that if you buy 10 shares of a stock at $200 and then the stock drops to $100 and then you buy 10 more shares, your average cost is $150. That's what that means. So you're always averaging into your position. So it's very important and imperative to understand that when we're talking about a trade, buying a stock, an equity, one of the keys is, what is your average cost for that asset? What is your average cost for that asset that you bought? Whether it's a trade, option contracts, or it is equities. So now that we understand the importance of what is the cost that you bought this thing for, then you'll be able to know, okay, where does the stock need to go in order for me to be in the profit, and then how much profit can I make when it's there and beyond. Now, when we are trading stock options, what happens? I always say this. What are you trading? We're not trading stocks. If you're trading stocks, you're going to be buying shares at a lower price point and selling them at a higher price point. We are trading stock options. Stock options is a derivative and it gets its value from the movement of a stock. But we're not trading stocks. We're trading stock options. So when we're trading stock options, you have to understand that you have something called a contract, and every contract has a premium. Every contract has a premium. What is the premium, Isaiah? It is the price of the contract. So, now that we understand this, now let's talk about, should we add to a position or not? Now, what do I have? I got that handy dandy iPad. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to illustrate this for you so that you can be empowered and you know exactly what needs to happen. So, right here. Now, let's look at a example. It doesn't matter the stock. Let's just say you want to trade IWM. Okay, let's just say we trade in IWM. All right. Now, In order to know if you should add to a position, you first off need to know where your entries are at, right? But let's say you got an IWM contract. Let's say you want to get in calls. You think the stock is going up higher. All right. You get into calls, right? Now, let's say each contract is $100 per contract. And let's say you get 5 contracts. So you put in $500 in this trade. All right, cool. So now you have $500 per contract. Now, when we're talking about adding to your positions, you also need to understand your position sizing and the total size of your account. That's another thing. We need to know the account size because that's going to dictate your position size, and that's going to dictate if you should be adding to your contracts or not. If you have a small account, you should not be adding to contracts whether you're up or you're down, in my opinion, because you don't have enough to work with yet. So let's continue on. So you got 5 contracts at $500. Now, let's say that you are in a trade and we have a support level right here and we have a resistance level right here. And let's say you enter in a trade right here. Okay? I'm going to put E for entry. So you enter in right here. Remember, this is going to be your support. And this is going to be your resistance. Now you entered in right here where this E is at. All right. So you got, like I said, you got $100 per contract. Now, at support, your contracts, let's say those contracts are now going to be worth, let's just say $50 at support. So once the stock drops down here, now those contracts are worth $50 per contract. So you're down 50% right now. Now, if you see that the stock comes down here and then we start hovering right here at support, and you know that we could be going up here, and you know where your entry price was at, if you see a bullish indicator or a bullish reversal indicator, like a failed 2 down or a bullish 1 bar, then what can you do? You can add, because you know at support with the bullish indicator like this, we should be doing what? Going up. So at support is where you can add. But how do you add? You don't add one contract. If you got 5 contracts and the contracts are now worth $50 per contract and you got in at $100 per contract, you need to add at least, at the bare minimum, 5 contracts, if not more. When you're adding to your position size, you want to bring your average cost down. So if you add 5 contracts, at $50 per contract, that's another $250. So now, when you average $10 right? 10 contracts, and you got $750 into the trade, right? How much does that make each contract? Now your average price went from, your average cost was $100 a contract, because you got 5 contracts at $100, right? But when you add those 5 contracts, now you have 10 contracts and a total position size of $750. So if you have 10 contracts and then you have a position size of 10 contracts and it was $750, that means that each contract now, your average price is $75 per contract. So you dropped your average price by $75 per contract. By $25 a contract. So now at support, instead of being down 50%, if this stock is now at, let's say, $60 a contract, because it's starting to come up, your average price is $75 a contract. Now you're only down $15 per contract, which is $150. Before, you were down $250. Your average price was $100 per contract, but you got 5 more contracts, and now you dropped your cost by 25%. Now, obviously, it could go a multitude of different ways. You could add more contracts and drop your cost more, but the risk is, if you drop more contracts, if you add more contracts, you could potentially lose more money if the stock keeps going in the opposite direction. So that is something that you always want to pay attention to, right? So you have $100 per contract. You got in at $500 in a total trade. You added 5 more contracts. You dropped your cost down to $75 a contract. Now you're in the trade at $250 per contract, right? So I hope that makes sense. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go a little bit deeper here, because I want to make sure that you guys fully understand this. Now, you don't always want to add to your contracts. So you want to add to your contracts at key levels if you do it. A lot of people say don't add to contracts if you are, they say don't add to contracts if you are already down. Don't add to a losing position. Okay? So let's say, once again, support and resistance. Okay? So, support and resistance. Now, if you get in right here and then we break below support, you don't want to add below support, because the stock is most likely going to continue to come down if you're in calls. So you actually want to get out below support. Right? Now, like I said, if we bounce off support and then we come up, you can add, anticipating it coming back up. Right? So if you're in a call, do not add to a position when it breaks below support. You either get out the trade or you ride it out, depending on where you're at. Now, if it comes back up above support, and then we get momentum, you could come up. But you want to make sure that the decay in the time on your contract is not too bad to where it doesn't even matter if you add it to that contract. So the last thing I'm going to tell you guys about this topic and this concept is this right here. When I am thinking about this, you need to understand this. If you want to add to your contracts, you always remember this. Always add more contracts than your original position size. Right? Always. What that means is your initial size should never be full size. Right? If you plan on adding, potentially. So, should never be full size. So, if you are usually going $1,000 per trade, and each contract is $100 a contract, then what? You say, hey, I may do 3 contracts at $300 total. That way, if I have to add to my position, I can, and I'm down some, I can add, let's say 6 contracts. And then let's say each contract is worth $50. Now I got 9 contracts, right? And those 9 contracts at $50 each, where are we at? Let's see. That's 9 times 6. No, 9 contracts times $50 per contract is $44.50, right? So let's see, 9 contracts times 9 contracts times 50 is $450 plus the original $300. So now we're total at $750 in the trade. Instead of the full $1,000, now $750 divided by 9, each contract is $83, right? So the more contracts you add, the more it's going to drop your cost, right? So I hope that makes sense, you guys. I hope that helped you guys out. If it does, let me know in the comments. And let me know how you guys feeling about this lesson. Like I always say, make sure you guys get up out your head. Go get into this world. Because your head is a dangerous place to live. And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right? Y'all have a great day. I'm going to see you guys on tonight's live. All y'all stay smooth, man. Peace.